Okay, let's talk about a war that's happening right now, maybe even in your own home. It's a battle fought every single summer, and it's the story of your air conditioner's relentless uphill fight against the desert heat.
You probably don't give it a second thought, but that metal box humming away outside, it's your home's silent defender. It's a guardian, standing watch over your comfort, 24/7. And believe me, this is no easy gig. From the second the sun comes up, that machine is locked in a relentless battle. The enemy? Oppressive, suffocating heat that just never quits. To really get what the struggle is like, we've got to go to the front lines.
To really understand this fight, you have to understand the battlefield. And honestly, there are very few places on Earth tougher for an AC unit than Palm Springs, California.
Yeah, this isn't just an inconvenience out there. When your AC breaks down in the desert, it is a full-blown emergency. Your system is pushed to its absolute breaking point day after day.
The number one enemy, of course, is the heat. And we're not talking about a couple of hot days. We're talking about temperatures that just casually soar past 110 degrees, and they do it from May all the way through October. This just forces your AC to run practically nonstop. But you know what? The heat is just the beginning. The desert has a whole arsenal of weapons. You've got this constant fine dust that gets into every single nook and cranny, literally choking the system by clogging up filters and vital coils. Then you've got intense UV radiation just baking and frying all the electrical parts. And if that's not enough, these wild temperature swings from day to night cause all the metal parts to expand and contract over and over, putting this immense constant stress on the whole unit. Look, in any war, even the toughest soldiers get hurt. And after fighting the desert day in and day out, your AC is going to start showing some battle scars. So it's absolutely crucial that you know how to recognize these signs of trouble. So what do these injuries actually look like? Well, all that stress from the temperature swings can cause refrigerant leaks, which is like a slow bleed that just drains away its cooling power. The constant starting and stopping in that crazy heat, that often leads to capacitor failure, which is basically a heart attack for the unit's motor. We already talked about how dust clogs the coils. Think of it like your system trying to breathe with a bag over its head. It just overheats. And sometimes the unit is just an old soldier. It's an undersized system that was never really built for the kind of heat waves we see today. Okay, so knowing the enemy is one thing. But as the homeowner, you're the commander in this war. You need a field guide, a battle plan to help you make smart, strategic decisions. Let's go over 3 simple but really powerful rules. First up, we have the $5,000 rule. This is just a super simple formula to help you make a really tough call. You take the estimated cost of the repair and you multiply it by how old your system is in years. If that number comes out to more than $5,000, it's a huge sign that you should probably replace the unit. For instance, a $500 repair on a 12-year-old system, that equals $6,000. That's a clear signal to replace it because you're just going to be throwing good money after bad on an old unit that's likely to break down again soon. Next, the 20-degree rule. And this one is all about setting realistic expectations and just understanding the laws of physics. Your AC is a beast, but it's not magic. It can usually cool the air inside your home about 20 degrees lower than the temperature outside. So when it is a scorching 115 degrees out and your system is fighting its heart out just to get it to 95 degrees inside, that's not a failure. That is your system working at its absolute peak. The key here is to not mistake physics for a broken machine. And finally, we've got the 3-minute rule. This is such a simple little thing that can literally save you thousands of dollars. See, when your AC shuts off, the refrigerant pressure inside is totally out of balance. If you try to restart it right away, you're forcing the compressor, the heart of the machine, to start against all that intense pressure. It's like trying to slam a heavy door shut against a hurricane. Just waiting 3 minutes lets those pressures even out, protecting your compressor from getting destroyed. And the good news is, most modern thermostats actually have this safety feature built right in. So when you use tools like the $5,000 rule, you are eventually going to face that critical decision. Is it time for a quick patch-up on the battlefield, or do you need to call in the reinforcements and get a whole new unit? Making the right call here is everything.
Really, the choice boils down to tactics versus strategy. A repair? That's a quick tactical fix. It totally makes sense for a newer system or some minor part that failed. But a replacement? That's a long-term strategic investment. It's going to solve those recurring problems, it's going to lower those crazy high energy bills, and most importantly, it gives you a chance to finally get a new system that's actually the right size for your house.
So, what does that long-term investment look like in real dollars? Well, this table gives you a ballpark for replacement costs in an area like Palm Springs. For a typical 2,000 square foot house, you're probably looking at somewhere between $5,500 and $12,000. For bigger homes,
Yeah, that number can jump way up. But these figures give you a pretty realistic idea of what it costs to get a new, reliable Defender on your side.
So whether you go with a repair or a full replacement, you need a plan. Winning your personal comfort war doesn't have to be some big, complicated thing. It really just comes down to a clear, simple process.
And here it is, your path to victory. Step 1. You call for service, and you just clearly describe the symptoms, what's happening. Step 2. A pro comes out, diagnoses the real problem, the root cause, and gives you a firm price for the fix. And finally, Step 3. You give the okay, the work gets done, and the system gets tested to make sure it's ready to jump back on the front lines. It's simple, it's transparent, and it works.
And that brings us to the final thought. The heat is always coming back. The next battle is always just around the corner. So think about your own system. And with everything you know now about the war it's fighting, is your home's Defender equipped for the next heat wave?